as time flies by, you'll open up your eyes wide. You feel it's gonna go your way. Hey, hey, it's a brand new day. Hey, 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 it's a brand new day.
I'm very delighted to present this gentleman. His name is Jose Carlos de Salamanca, and he's representing today the Trocadero Group. Now, this guest comes to us thanks to Cit Marbella, who's that fabulous networking association for businesses in Marbella. More than 500 companies covering 80 different professions, and even if they do things that like are complementary to each other, or even if they're in the same fields, they support each other unconditionally, as they do Marbella Now and vice versa. So wonderful. Welcome to Marbella Now.
Thank you very much.
Pleasure to meet you.
It's a pleasure.
You are representing the Trocadero Group that
Yeah.
has a fabulous name.
Yeah.
I don't know who hasn't been to Trocadero here in Marbella, but it's a big group. Jose Carlos, tell us a bit about the group before we talk directly about Marbella.
As you know, Trocadero started in Marbella 20 years ago. Dionisio Hernandez Gil is the owner of Trocadero Group. He started in the restaurant in Chiringuito, close to Marbella Club. And after that, 8 years ago, opened the Trocadero Arena, close to Rio Real. It's a beautiful, fantastic beach restaurant. And after that, we opened in Soto Grande. I think it's one of the biggest and more beautiful beach club in Europe. You know Trocadero Soto Grande?
I haven't been to the one in Soto Grande. However, I have heard from so many people who live in that area that you literally saved their lives because there was nothing of that caliber, and the design of Trocadero is unique.
Right. That's right. The idea for Trocadero, as you know, the interior designer of Trocadero is Lorenzo Capodellano. This interior designer lived in Africa for many, many years, and is one of the best interior designer in Spain. And he decorates all the Trocaderos, no? And Trocadero Playa, Arena, Soto Grande, and as you know, we have another 2 restaurants in summer, only in the period of summer, is the Petit Trocaderos, but it's beautiful. It's a little one. One of them is close to Trocadero Playa, and between Marbella Club and Trocadero Playa is Trocadero Petit, and you have the big Jaima. It's about for 50, 60 seats for it only. It's not really big. And we have another just in front of Trocadero Arena. There's another 2 restaurants, only for summer.
What would you say is the characteristic of Trocadero, apart from the exquisite decoration? We have those shabby chics, it's like African, amazing.
I think it's many things. One of them is the location. I think the location is fantastic. The second is the decoration. It's a colonial, African colonial, and it's really beautiful. The atmosphere, and you feel very cozy, the lights.
And the sofas as well, it's a very comfortable space.
Everything is very cozy, the lights is fantastic. Everything is for you spend a good lunch or dinner, no? And the third thing is professional. We have a very good professionals, because it's open during all the year. Marbella and Arena and Playa is open all the year, and we can find a very good professionals in there, no? Soto Grande is open the majority of the years. 3 years is all the year. Now it's only during May and October, and the Petit is in summer. But we are in total, we are a lot of employers in summer, but in winter we reduce about 150 employers, and all of them is very, very professional. In fact, this summer, for example, we changed a lot of plates. A new plate is coming in the menu. And we have a master chef for all the kitchens, Juan Manuel. He's a fantastic kitchen, and he prepared a new plates but the flavor of typical for Trocadero. We have everything: rices, meat, food, fishes, everything. We have it's a very, very big menu. No?
And families are welcome, because sometimes places as cool and chic as this don't welcome families, but that's not the case here, that you do welcome the children and families.
And the dogs also, because we are dog friendly. And
very important, very important in our community. We all love our dogs, as do you. I've seen some lovely pictures of Jose Carlos's dogs. We've been comparing our pets, which is nice that we are a caring community. The nice thing is that you're open all year, And also, one of the things I don't think people appreciate what it is to employ on a full-time basis 150 employees.
In winter, in summer, maybe 500.
I mean, but that's a commitment that I'd
it's a
say,
lot.
unless you have a business here and you employ people, you don't realize what a commitment that is. And I think when a company makes that commitment to staff and employs them, for us as a community to then support the business, we need to, because you're playing the game so fairly, we need to kind of do the same.
The group tried to maintain the major time of possible the restaurant open, you know, because it's really important for Marbella. You know, Marbella for many years is summer is top, but in winter is very low. No, we try to equilibrate this situation. No, in fact, we opened this July. I invite you to the inauguration, and I think it's in the middle of July or maybe in July. The new big restaurant in Benalmádena, close to Torre Quebrada. It's a beautiful restaurant just in the hill, no, just in front of the sea, and it's a fantastic new Trocadero. It's open, I think, this summer. We are now very quickly. The workers work in the morning, in the night, to open this summer.
Well, it's lovely that not only that we
Beautiful
get great places for us and the tourists to go to, but again, giving those very much needed jobs. And I'm very happy that you're open all year round. I was just saying to Jose Carlos that we desperately need him to be at our United Nationalities Summit of Marbella on the 24th of April. Because this year's we need the movers and shakers. It's the people in charge of those spaces that can help give us safe spaces for our teens, 13 to 17, somewhere to go that's in their affordable price, where they're going to be safe, where we know that people will be doing identity checks at the door to make sure people aren't underage, like here at Velvet. They will make sure that your child is safe, yes, and that's what we need from our community. Businesses to also share the responsibilities that as a community we're faced with. And when we live in a party city like Marbella, our children are vulnerable and we need to be extra careful. So 24th of April, it's completely free to sign up and help us provide the services that our community needs. Jose Carlos, it's really lovely to meet you. I love Jose Carlos Salamanca, very well-known surname in Spain. It's lovely to have made your acquaintance, and next time we'll come and maybe visit you up there in Trocadero.
Okay,
have to go all the way up to the east side of Marbella, but it's so worth it.
I see, I hope.
Absolute pleasure. Muchísimas gracias. Encantada de conocerle.
Gracias, encantado.
Hasta la próxima.
Bye, thank you.
It's gonna go your way. Hey, hey, it's a brand new day.
Hello, I'm Ryan Mitchell from Now de San Pedro. Last week's sign was Help the Homeless. One more time, Help the Homeless. This week's sign, following on from our community help, we proudly present the United Nationalities Marbella Summit 2018 that is taking place on the 24th of April. This week's sign is UNMS 2018. One more time, UNMS 2018.
It's gonna go your way. Hey, hey, it's a brand new.
Free taxi 4 times a month and 25% discount on your car insurance if you're the Zero Hero.
Yeah, I'm here in Marbella, but it says here I'm in La Canada.
If you haven't mastered the lingo, don't worry. Linea Director has a free GPS geolocator service that will come and find you.
Hello again, Marbella. It's Amanda from Silk and Sin here, and I'm here again to help deal with Marbella's personal problems, any intimate personal problems you may have that you contact me with, and I try and help you. Okay, now today's problem is quite a serious one. It's involving a Mr. and Mrs. X. Now, Mr. and Mrs. X have been together 10 years. They're in their 40s, they have a great life here, but things have started to go slightly wrong. Now, this started when Mrs. X went to pay for some shopping and found that her credit card had been stopped and she wasn't allowed to spend any money on her credit card. And she thought nothing of it, thought maybe her husband had bought something and went on and ignored it. And it happened again. So she started speaking to her husband, and at first he was very dismissive and said, oh, I've had to buy things for the house, I've had to do this, I've had to spend money on that, I've had to spend money on the car, and she believed him. And then one night, about a month ago, she came downstairs and found him on the computer. And there he was on a gambling site. And eventually she talked to him and she got it out of him that he'd actually become addicted to playing on these gambling sites. And we're talking large amounts of money here, amounts of money that they really can't afford. Now, he's explained to Mrs. X that this started when he went with a group of friends to a casino and won 500 euros and was so buzzy and so pleased about it. And then a friend said, oh, I have great fun on this site. And I'm not going to say the name of the site, but there are many, as I'm sure you know. Now, another thing that worries me is that these sites are available for 18s and over. And let's face it, at 18, do you really have the presence of mind, nothing against 18-year-olds, but to decide whether you can do this or not? And gambling is a very, very addictive process. Now, I've spoken to Mrs. X and I've asked her, has Mr. X had addiction problems of any sort in the past? Alcohol, drugs, anything like that, gambling before? And she's spoken to him and apparently he's not. And so this gambling addiction has gradually built up and built up and built up over the weeks and the months, and they're actually in debt to quite a lot of money. And he's finding it impossible to stop. Now, this isn't something that I can just solve with a quick 2 or 3 word lines of advice or just answer quickly. It's a very serious problem. And Mr. X knows he's got a problem, but he's compulsive. He can't stop himself. When he sees the computer, and he has to use the computer for work, he goes onto these sites and he's spending a lot of money still. And he's in fact borrowed money from the bank in order to fund his gambling habit. Now, he desperately needs to get help for this, and I would recommend Gamblers Anonymous. You can be found on the internet. There are local branches, of course, but there's also a web presence for them that can help you and help you deal with this problem, because this is a problem of addiction, and compulsive addictive behaviour can take many forms. As I said, we can have addictive shoppers, addictive spenders. You can be addicted to alcohol or other substances, all sorts of things. It just happens that Mr. X is addicted to gambling, and it's really putting a lot of pressure on their relationship, as I'm sure you can understand. We all know the thrill of a scratch card and winning €5 or €2 on a lottery line, but this is different. This has gone further and further and further, and he's in very deep and he can't stop himself, so he needs professional help. And this is what I want to say, that if you find yourself in this situation, and this is what I advise Mr. and Mrs. X, go and get professional help, because it's not something really you can deal with on your own. It is a serious problem, and whether it be gambling or spending or alcohol or drugs or whatever, it's something that needs someone that specialises in that area to work with. And gambling is becoming a bigger and bigger thing. Online gambling, it's so easy to access and it's so easy to spend. Mr. X said suddenly he realised at the end of the night that he'd lost €10,000, which is a huge amount of money. Now, some sites have limits as to what you can spend, but others aren't quite as responsible and don't. And we really need to look at this, because it's very easy to get in too deep. What starts off as a bit of fun and you've won a £5, and this is what happened, Mr. X won and the buzz was so good, goes on and on and on, and you can end up in deep trouble. So anyone that's experiencing this, please, 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 and it is a very widespread problem, get onto the internet, find your local branch of Gamblers Anonymous and get this problem dealt with, because you need professional help from people that have been in the same situation themselves. And we wish Mr. and Mrs. X all the best, because it is affecting their relationship, as you can understand, and it's also affecting their security in that their house might be at risk if their debts go up, etc., etc. This leads on to lots of other problems. So we wish them well, and we also say, please, if you have problems of any sort of addictive nature, contact a professional, because it's not something that you can deal with on the whole on your own. You need professional help. I've had problems with addiction in my past, I think a lot of us have, of one way or another, and so it's nothing to be ashamed of. So please get help, and we wish Mr. and Mrs. X the very, very best. Thank you very much, Marbella, and I'll speak to you soon. Goodbye from me, Amanda, from Silk and Sin.
Remember to pick up your free copy of the Euro Weekly News tomorrow and to check out my column, Marbella Moments. Thank you for joining us from Marbella Now this evening. As always, it's a pleasure to have you with us. We'll be back again tomorrow evening with another programme, but you can check out all our programmes online. Please do visit our website, MarbellaNowTV.com, and also sign up for United Nationalities of Marbella Summit 2018. This year, we're not having suggestions walls, we're having solution wall, and we know that you can help us be part of that solution. Hasta mañana. Take care of yourselves. Bye for now.
And it's time.